putting my finger on. It's always just trying to improve.
We look at the stats there's the yards per air, yards per town hall. It's pretty low for you. Do you think is that something that you want to improve, or you can improve, or is it sort of dependent on the people you?
I'm trying to find the guy who's open every play, and if that happens to be all the way down the field, that's the guy. If it's not, then it's not. I'm not concerned with my yards per attempt or completion, really. Just trying to find the guy who's open. If you guys want me to improve my yards per attempt, I'll overthrow everybody 50 yards over and over again, and my yards per attempt will go through the roof. So I don't plan on doing that.
One thing Dan has mentioned a couple of times is trimming down the verbiage of the play calls. Can you just compare, what the verbiage is here versus what you're used to? Is it same length? Is it longer?
It's less just because of where we're at in the system. It's the first year. I think back to when the first year in LA when Sean came in, that system grew so much over 4 years to the point where we shrunk it and then it extended, we shrunk it and extended and got to the point where we could handle a lot of verbiage there. But when you're on a first year of a system, it's typically trying as much as you can to trim it.
So how much could that help? Maybe not you, but maybe other people too, right?
Always helps. Yeah, always helps, especially when you're young and there's a lot of things going on. The more we can simplify it for myself, for all these guys out here, the better.
Jared, just one other thing on that. You sort of explained a couple of times, and I've heard other people say this. When you get that play call, you can visualize it, right? You can see the field and see exactly what you want. I don't know. Can you maybe just explain that from the quarterback's mind to that? When you get that, when you hear that in your helmet, what do you see?
Sure. You can visualize it once, right? You see it, you hear it, you visualize it once, and then you usually visualize it again once you call it. And you kind of have to be able to see it while you're calling it. Some of these plays are so hard, it's impossible actually, like rope memorization, just to remember the words. You have to be able to see it when you're saying it so that you can call it that way.
Jared, how encouraged are you to see Killer Decker back out here on the practice field?
Very, yeah, of course. He's a guy we want back as soon as possible, and hoping he can be ready, but if he's not, I know he's doing everything he can to be ready.
Jared, both these teams are coming off heartbreaker with a field goal. How do you turn the page? Like some players talk about all the time, and is that something you've gotten better at throughout your career to move on?
Yeah, I think I've been on both sides of them, and you kind of have to treat them both the same. Obviously it sucks to lose that way, but you give yourself 24 hours or whatever you want to call it and come back refreshed and rejuvenated. And to be honest, in our building, it's not hard with the way Dan is and the way our guys are. If you aren't that way, you stick out. And I think we've got a good energy about us and a good resilience.
In that first 24 hours, does part of you say, like, are you kidding me that we lost 2 games like that in 3 weeks and no one's ever done that?
Yeah, I think that happens like pretty early on in that 24 hours. But I didn't know that was the stat until much later. So that's the way this goes sometimes. Again, I've been on both sides of them. So.
Jared, from a team perspective, it's probably getting pretty tiring to hear next man up with just some of these injuries you've had early, but Kadero Hodge is kind of the next man up right now, and I'm curious, you had to have a lot of reps with him before the last game reps.
Yep.
Stepped in, had some big plays in that game. Where's your chemistry with him and confidence in him?
So Kadero and I actually were teammates in LA in 2018. He was our 4th or 5th receiver, I believe, probably the 5th guy there, and he had to step in there, and it was seamless. It was really like, whoa, okay, this guy can play. And then in LA, he moved on and went to Cleveland, and now kind of got back with him. And our chemistry is a little further along than it would be with somebody that I hadn't played with. So he is a guy I trust and a guy that we want to get involved.
Question: the quarterback, you have probably a different perspective of the team than any other player. How can you tell if your team is or isn't getting affected by losing? In other words, it's starting to eat at them or something.
I think you're always affected by it. I don't think you can not be affected by it. It's good to be mad. It's good to be pissed off. It's good to be, want to be better. I think the scary thing is if it went numb, right? If everyone's out here just whatever, I don't believe that's the case. I don't believe that'll ever be the case. So it's definitely, a thing that we have amongst us. That's that energy, that like forward thinking of, we can't keep letting these get to us.
I talked to Dan this week. He did talk about some of the downfield passing and put it on the coaches. Said we need to find some better ways to create more space in the pocket to make these plays in a better rhythm. As you hit the practice field the first day here in preparation for this game, how have you seen maybe some of those changes they're trying to implement take effect?
Yeah, again, guys, like we'll take the shots when they're there. I mean, I know we're trying to scheme them up, and I know we're trying to find ways to get the ball down the field, but if it doesn't fit in the weekly plan, or it doesn't fit in what the defense does, or it doesn't fit in what we do this week, we ain't going to do them. But if it does fit, we love to do them, and if they get open, I'm going to throw them. But it's kind of just waiting for that to come together, and I know we're working on it. I'm conscious of it. I want to do it, and I know we all do.
We haven't talked to you since you got the community MVP award from the NFLPA last week. Just wondering if you could sort of share how you got connected with that side of it and why it's important for you.
Yeah, well, with the JG16 stuff, I've been able to start kind of a charity, I guess, there with selling those clothes and then giving it all back to. This year, we partnered with the Detroit Lions Foundation, which is mostly like youth initiatives in Detroit. I'm sorry, LA. It was with Inglewood Unified School District, and out here it's with more just any youth initiatives. But we were able to partner with Forgotten Harvest and do that food drive the other day. It was fun, man. It was really cool to be able to give back. And I said this, I think, last week, but it's, I think, a responsibility of guys like myself and leaders on this team and leaders in the community to kind of step up and be there for people that need it. And I was honored by the award, but ultimately it felt really good to just be able to give back in a way.
What, if any, kinship is there with former #1 overall picks, Burrow?
Yeah, there's always that fraternity, I guess. He's a hell of a player, and I think both him and Zach Taylor I guess I'm closer with Zach Taylor, but when he was coming out, we were joking like, hey, like stop playing coy. We know you're taking him. He's a hell of a player, man, and I'm excited to see him back on the field this year. And but yeah, there is a little bit of that fraternity there with those guys. Yeah, he was my quarterback coach in LA, and I loved him. He was awesome. One of my favorites of all time, and he's done a tremendous job getting that place right. And they're a tough team and a tough game for us this week for sure.
Jared, Quintet's out and Tyrell was said to be out a bit longer. Like, what is your confidence level on the Marvin Ross stepping up and taking those, getting more targets?
Yeah, Saint's done a great job, and I think it's our job to get him involved more. It's on me. It's on how we're doing things. It's we need to get him the ball a little bit. And I thought last week we did that, but he's done a great job ever since he got here. He's a guy that's, as a rookie, doesn't look like a rookie. He's stepped up, and he's a guy that 4 or 5 years from now I expect to be in the top list in the league as guys in the slot or even outside that can make those plays and do those things that you'd like to see him do. And he's, I guess, to cap it off, I know I'm talking a little while here, but he's done a great job since he got here.
As you guys are trying to work out the kinks of offense, is it hard, coming in and finding the positives, week to week?
No, I mean, there are positives. There's a lot of negatives too, though, and I think just working through both of those and what are we good at, what are we not good at, what do we need to clean up, what do we need to be good at, and making sure we're on the same page.
All right,
Thank you, guys.